what was ironic about this dream was that we were outside and we were in tents, right? So I'm praying to God about this. What is it? Is it anything to this tabernacle? And then all of a sudden I'm having a dream about believers being in a tent. And what really stood out to me, guys, was that we were in tents, a bunch of believers. And I'm not sure if you guys have heard of Pastor Dana Coverston and his dreams that he has been sharing. Basically, we were in tents and Dana Coverston is literally holding a mic, and all through the dream, he's just retelling his dream, just constantly retelling his September dream. And then I kept seeing the number 26. 26. I have no idea what this number means. I kept hearing Gregorian calendar. Gregorian, I hope I'm saying that right, but that's what I kept hearing. And I got up and I looked that up. Obviously, I was trying to look it up with the number 26. And 26 literally mean love feast. So what I believe is, especially after receiving this dream from the Holy Spirit yesterday, I really truly believe that Jesus is coming back. Feast of Tabernacles.
From the rebirth of Israel, May 14th, 1948, if you add 888 months and 888 days, it brings us to October 18th, 2024. Now, if this is the first day between October 17th and October 18th, the first day of an 8-day feast, then here we have a sign of 8 that brings us to the first day of the Feast of Tabernacles. And then if we go 8 more days, 896 days is 888 days plus 8 more days. It comes to October 26th.
The first dream, I remember, I will never forget this night. I had watched a video about the fall feast from Jonathan Kahn. It was specifically on the Feast of Tabernacles. And then I had watched another young lady. She was about 17, and she had received that dream 7 years before 2020. And in her rapture dream, she asked the Lord, when are you coming? And in the dream, the Lord said, after we celebrate my father's birthday. Then after she received that, I don't know how it was revealed to her, but it was revealed to her that that he was referring to the Feast of Tabernacles. I just asked the Lord, I said, Lord, are you coming in during the Feast of Tabernacles? And I said, is there anything to tabernacles? And then I just finished worshiping the Lord. I prayed, and then I went to sleep, and I got a dream. In the dream, I very clearly remember that it was only believers that were in tents. And I knew that intrinsically. I don't know how I can tell you that I knew, but I knew that it was only believers in these tents. I remember that Dana Coverston was repeating his dream, and I believe it was the September dream that he was repeating. And then there was it wasn't like the scene switch. It was just that I heard a male audible voice, and you know how where you can hear, like, when something is getting closer to you, it gets louder, and then when something moves away, it fades out. That's how I heard it. So like I would hear 26, and it was like it was coming close to me, and I would hear that loud. It was like, something's going past you and then coming back, going past you and then coming back. That's how I heard 26 Gregorian, 26. And I heard 26 very loudly coming close to my ear, and then I would hear Gregorian as it was fading out. And then I saw 26. And so that was being amplified, the date. And then the next day when I got up, I had looked up 26. It came up as love feast. So I knew that this was going to be associated with feast. What I'm getting from this dream now, but I'm going to say it as it were in 2020, but I'm going to say what I believe the interpretation of this dream is. The rapture will occur when the Feast of Tabernacles, or the 8th day, falls on the 26th day of the Gregorian calendar.
So we have the last great day in 2024 will be on October 24th, but whether it's October 24th, October 25th, or October 26th, this is a very important sign that may be pointing to the end of the Feast of Tabernacles. So October 26th, the great 8th day from Israel's rebirth, 888 months plus 888 days, which brought us to the first day of an 8-day feast. So we add 8 more days. The great 8th Day of Tabernacles, anywhere from October 24th through October 26th.
This dream I knew was associated with this dream because of this, because of the date that was in the dream. It was another rapture dream, but it was confusion about the date of a celebration. And the two dates of confusion was the 24th and the 26th. So I'm going to come back to this, but I want to explain the dream for people who don't know. And then we'll come back and show how it relates to this year only and what's happening during this feast of ingathering and the 8th day. In the dream, there was one of my friends from high school. In real life, her mom had just passed away. She was a believer. They both loved the Lord. But in the dream, she wasn't dead. I can't remember if it was her birthday, but it was some sort of celebration for her. And basically in the dream, Jamie was inviting me to this celebration for her mother. I think I said, "Well, when is it?" And she said it's the 24th. And then she's, you know how someone thinks out loud and then they start looking confused, like, or they're unsure or uncertain about something. That's exactly what she did. She said, "Wait, is it the 24th? I think it's the 24th." And then she said, "No, it's the 26th." And then she reaffirmed it. She said, "No, it's definitely the 26th." And I don't remember what happened after that because I haven't went back and listened to the entirety of that dream, but I believe I just woke up right after that. But in that dream, when I posted it, I said, this is the only other dream where I got the 26 again. But I also mentioned that there was another date in there that I did not get. And I was super confused at the time because I'm like, Lord, is these even from you at this point? Because it's like, you're not the author of confusion. I was questioning, like, what is this? So I really did not share this dream much. Because honestly, I'm like, I don't know what these 2 days mean. I'm gonna just stick to the 26 Gregorian. I didn't share much of this dream, but I did share it. I think maybe only one time, once or twice before I shared it, maybe.
But in this dream, she kept saying, she was telling me that her mother's party was coming. She said, "My mother's party is coming." It was almost like she was inviting me. And I said, "Well, when is it?" She said, "It's the 24th." She said, "It's the 24th." And she repeated it a couple times. She was like, "No, is it the 24th?" And she just kind of like stood there and pondered. She wasn't sure if she had the day right. So after pondering for a couple seconds, maybe 10-15 seconds, she finally blurted out and she said, "No, it's the 26th. It's the 26th for sure. It's the 26th." And I woke up after that. But what really stood out to me again was this is the first time in over a year, guys, because that was 2020, that I received that dream, that the Lord has even given me a dream referencing 26 again. So I prayed about it. I knew he wanted me to share it again. I don't know. I don't have a month. I don't have a year. All I have is the 26.
The reason why I'm saying that this can only be applicable, guys, to this year, and why God was showing me in both of these dreams this year, Feast of Sukkot, and the 8th day specifically, was because there is confusion right now on when the Feast of Trumpets was, because you have some of the church and some of Israel celebrating Feast of Trumpets on the 2nd, 3rd. And then you have some people like me who said, no, Feast of Trumpets was not. It was on the 4th. Because this is from Deborah's date tree right here. I went to Deborah's, it's called Deborah's date tree. She's in Israel, and she is all about restoring the biblical calendar. So when I checked on October 2nd, she said there was no new moon sighting at all. And then she said if there's no new moon sighting on the 3rd, we would automatically start the new month and the Feast of Trumpets on October 4th. And so there was no new moon sighting on the 3rd. And yet they celebrated Feast of Trumpets, some people even the 2nd, and then some people the 3rd. But most people in Israel, and I was even watching the news, and they were talking about how Hezbollah, I forgot which news, it may have been Sky News or CNN, one of them fake news people. They had they said Hezbollah has launched rockets on Israel's holiest day. This was October 12th, on their holiest day, Yom Kippur, to pay them back for Ramadan. And I said to myself, well, why would she say that? I mean, it's clearly not Day of Atonement. I was following this. And so what happened was, I'm like, okay, even if we don't see a new moon on the 3rd, we'll be starting on the 4th. But I did go on, and Deborah said they had spotted the new moon. So this was not an issue of, oh, we didn't see the new moon on the 3rd, therefore we started the new month. No, there were 6 to 10 witnesses. 6 to 10 witnesses who actually reported the new moon slithers. They spotted the new moon on the 4th. Therefore, which is why I put the video out about Yom Kippur on October 14th, Yom Kippur was not October 12th. It was October 14th, which would mean that the last day of Tabernacles, or the 8th day, will be October 26th and not the 24th. But if they are celebrating Yom Kippur on the 12th, then for them, the 8th day would be the 24th. And I think this is what the confusion was about in this dream, because there was confusion about whether or not this celebration was going to be on the 24th or the 26th. And she said, nope, 26, and then she reaffirmed it.
Of every one of God's approved true 7th month moons, you'll see the moon in the constellation of Cancer, which is the old time picture was the sheepfold. But it also represents a crab, because it has those big claws and he can grab and nobody can snatch him out of your hand. The thing I really liked about Shemini Atzeret, so first of all, if you remember, Shemini Atzeret has the gematria value of 1170. So 117 in God's word, he defined it by the first time he used it in Genesis, he said, let it divide. And the gematria is 117. And then we've taught on this many times, but the exact middle of the Bible is Psalm 117, let it divide. So God said, let it divide. So Shemini Atzeret is let it divide magnified times 10. So it's 1170, but it still carries that meaning with more emphasis. So God says at Shemini Atzeret, let it divide. So that'll be the 22nd day of the 7th month, which equates to about October 25th, 26th. That's the day we're looking at.
So I received this dream on November 5th, I believe. It might have been the 6th. But this was 2 months after I received the other dream. Again, all of these dreams are connected, all 3 of them, and they can only happen this month and this year. In the dream, I was standing in the driveway of one of my loved ones' homes. And while I was standing in the driveway, my attention was brought to the sky, where I saw just a picture of the constellation, the crab. I didn't see it like this. This is not what I saw. I don't know the time in between or how long after, but after I looked at this crab for a while, I began to lift off the ground, like I began to ascend up. But I didn't leave the earth. I did not leave the atmosphere. I was able to look down directly at my uncle, and he was able to look at me. I knew that this was the rapture, and I knew that he had been left behind. I knew he wasn't ready. And I was looking around, and there was only a few of us, but we were so excited. After we ascended up, we didn't leave. And then here comes this crab again in the sky. My attention is being brought. So it was very clear to me, and I said that in a dream. I knew, and I can't explain to you how I knew, because it wasn't like God spoke and said, look at the crab. Like, it was just like, I knew intrinsically that the Lord was saying, look at the crab, remember the crab, focus on the crab. This crab is the key to the timing of the rapture. And that timing is totally connected to Shemini Atzeret. And it's this year. I saw the crab. I looked at the crab. I don't know how long I looked at the crab or if I saw how many times after I saw the crab. I can't give you a count, but I was focused on this crab. And then this vortex opened up. And again, there was this brilliant light. It was almost like, I guess, what John saw on the Lord's day. I mean, I didn't fall as though dead, or as we saw at the transfiguration on Tabernacles. It was a bright light that no bleach. Listen. And the reason why I'm saying these dreams are connected, just what our brother Paul said. The moon is entering Cancer on the 24th. Again, I think this represents in the dream the fact that we didn't leave. I had saw the crab and we ascended but didn't leave. And I believe that this represents when we actually leave Shemini Atzeret, the 8th day, the great day. This is what I saw, except I did not see this woman. I did not see the lion. What I saw was the little crab. I'm sorry, guys. This is just what I saw. And I believe the crab is like Cancer or something. But I was walking in the backyard, and all of a sudden, all of what we see here, I know that there was things up there, but the main thing that God had me to remember I was seeing was Cancer, the little crab, whatever that means, guys. So I was walking, I look up, and I see this. You could just see the sky changing. And I started seeing people rise. So we didn't like shoot all the way up into the air. I saw people rise, then I started to rise up. And when I started to rise up, we were like at the sky, but we didn't like leave the earth yet. I could see down. I looked down and I saw people standing around. And then out of nowhere, the sky opened up. The sky completely opened up. And I guess that was like heaven opening up because we were getting ready to leave the earth. I did not see us leave the earth. The only thing that I remember, the last thing, was that we were in the sky looking at each other, and then I saw the sky open up like some type of vortex. It was like a circle. It opened up really, really big and brilliant light, guys. The light that we see cannot compare to the light that I saw coming out of the sky opening up. And then I woke up. He that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same as a thief and a robber. But he that entereth in by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. To him the porter openeth, and the sheep hear his voice, and he calleth his own sheep by name, and leadeth them out. And when he putteth forth his own sheep, he goeth before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. I believe the Lord is showing us that He's getting ready to lead us out on Shemini Atzeret. Constellation, Cancer the bright, the moon is going out.
In the 7th month, on the 21st day of the month, came the word of Yahuwah by the prophet Haggai, saying, According to the word that I covenanted with you when you came out of Egypt, so my spirit remains among you. Fear not. Remember, fear not. That's a pattern that we're going to see in coming up. For thus says Yahuwah of hosts, yet once, which could be interpreted as in one day, it is a little while, which is another way of saying in a moment, which if you but you search the Bible for all the places that have in a moment, you'll find that it's almost always talking about destruction on the day of Yahuwah, the fall of Babylon. So in a moment, I will shake the heavens and the earth and the sea and the dry land. So it's proper context here, right? In a little while, I'm going to do all these things. In a moment, I'm going to destroy things. I'm going to consume things. I'm going to burn things. So we have this pattern repeating. And I will shake the nations, and while the nations are being shaken, the desirable people, the loved ones of all the nations, shall come together, and I will fill this house, his holy house, his new temple, with glory, says Yahuwah of hosts. So he's talking about destruction and gathering all his people from all the nations in Haggai 2. So what's interesting is he received this prophecy on the 21st day of the 7th month, which is the day before Azeret. And it says, yet once, or yet again, or one day from now, destruction and the rapture will occur, which would be the 22nd day, the Azeret. So that's pretty interesting parallel, that's the day and the timing that he received this prophecy. And And that aligns with what we see from Joel 2, verse 16. This is immediately after blow the shofar, sanctify a fast, call a solemn assembly, gather the people, sanctify the congregation, assemble the elders, gather the children and the infants, let the bridegroom go forth of his chamber, and the bride come out of her closet. Here comes the bridegroom. Bride goes out to meet him, gathering all the people right after Aseret. So also note that all the shaking is also separating wheat from the chaff. So the chaff burns up, the wheat gets taken up into the barn. So let's go into the meaning of Aseret a little bit. It's got two meanings. As a verb, it means to restrain. And as a noun, it means gathering. So I thought that was an interesting combination of words because I've heard restraining and gathering in the same context before, and you probably have too. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Now concerning the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ and our being gathered together, there's the gathering to him, that we shouldn't be quickly shaken, right? Quickly, shortly, in a little while, shaken. There's those themes going on. In mind, or alarmed, fear not. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there be a departure first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. This provides a link here for a paper that shows you that the apostasy or the falling away means physical departure. That's how it was originally translated in the first half dozen English translations and even in the Latin. And it wasn't until the King James Version that they departed from that to apostasy. And so it doesn't necessarily mean a spiritual falling away from the faith. This is talking about a departure, the departure being our gathered together. Now, I've done a previous video where I've summarized this, but you can also just come here and read the actual text yourself if you have any questions about that. All right, and now you know what restrains that he might be revealed in his time. So what restrains is the departure that has to come first. The departure is restraining the revealing of the man of sin. All right, for the mystery of lawlessness is already at work. Only this lawlessness is currently restrained until taking out of the way come to pass.
All three of these dreams are about tabernacles, and they can only occur in 2024. They could not occur in 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. This is the year.
Thessalonians 4:16. Trump and Vance. Look at Trump and Pence. On the Feast of Trumpets, we saw Revelation 12:1 and 2 sign. But look at the Trump and Vance. They both end with NCE. Trump, Pence. The Feast of Trumpets this year is in October, 2nd and 3rd. Yom Kippur 10 days later. Trump, Pence. Trump, Vance. Feast of Trumpets, we saw September 23, 2017, the Revelation 12 sign in September. Will be 7 years this September, 23, 24. Trump, Pence, Trump, Vance. V and the A. The V arrow coming down and the A arrow going up. As Jesus coming down, we go up. At 1 Thessalonians 4:16, the Lord himself will meet us in the clouds with the voice of an archangel. The last trump will be caught up.